Scarlet chains, tied by fate, free by love. Character introductions. Park Jimin. Age 26, CEO of Scarlet Corp, a powerful luxury conglomerate. Known for ruthless business deals, cold silence, and sharp eyes. Personality, emotionless, calculating, and feared. Hides all vulnerability behind a perfect facade. Secret, holds a grudge against White N's late father, who he believes destroyed his mother's life. Weakness, White N's sincerity, though he doesn't admit it, even to himself. White N, age 22, recently graduated with a literature degree, struggling to find a job. Kind, honest, proud despite poverty, and secretly heartbroken from her broken family. Personality, strong-willed but gentle, observant, and not afraid to speak up. Caught in a trap she never asked for, but refuses to be a victim. Dreams, wanted to be rare, but is now tied to a life where love is forbidden. Supporting characters: yoongi, Jimin's silent, loyal right-hand man. Knows Jimin's dark past. Hannah, White N's best friend. Protective and fierce. Mr. Kong, a sly lawyer who made the contract between Jimin and White N. Scene: luxury office, Park Jimin's skyscraper office. White N is seated across from Jimin, confusion and fear battling in her eyes. Jimin stands by the floor-to-ceiling window, hands in his pockets, back turned to her. White unclutching the papers tightly, voice trembling. What is this? A marriage contract. You can't be serious. Jimin calmly, without looking at her. I don't waste time with jokes. Miss White N. White N rises from chair, glaring. My family owes money. But this, you want me to marry you to pay for my father's mistakes. Jimin finally turning, eyes sharp, voice cold. Your father didn't make mistakes, he realized, including mine. White in shock. What? Jimin leaning closer, eyes unreadable. He destroyed my mother's business. I watched her suffer while your father walked free. This contract is redemption for me. Payment for you. White unbitterly. So this is revenge. Jimin smirks faintly. Let's call it balance. Scene: flashback. White N's tiny apartment. Night before. White N and her mother sit silently under dim light. Her mother coughs weakly, hiding her pain. White N reads the final eviction notice. Hands trembling. White N's mother softly. I'm sorry you have to carry this. White N. If your father were alive. White N forcing a smile, eyes glistening. I'll handle it. Yama. I'll find a way. I always do. Scene: back to present. Jimin's office. Jimin places a black pen on the table. Jimin quietly signed the contract. 1 year. No love. No rights, no questions. Just my wife. In name. White N voice cracking. And if I don't? Jimin leans in, whispering coolly, then your mother will. Rot in debt prison by the end of the week. Choose. White N stares at the pen, her eyes burning with helpless rage. In silent defiance, she picks it up with trembling fingers. White N softly. I don't know what kind of monster you've become, Park Jimin, but I'll survive this. You won't break me. Jimin expression unreadable. I don't need to break you. White N, I just need you to stay chained. Scene: luxury private chapel. Seoul, a private wedding. No guests, no celebration, just a cold exchange of vows under crystal chandeliers, and a silent bride in a red veil. Pastor clears throat awkwardly. Do you, Park Jimin, take why, and as your lawfully wedded wife? Jimin curtly, yes. Double quotes. Pastor hesitant. Do you, why Ian, take Park Jimin? Why unsoftly, lips trembling. Yes. Double quotes. Silence. The pastor finished quickly, as if suffocating under the weight of their silence. Scene, car ride, Jimin's black Rolls Royce. The newlyweds sit beside each other. A sharp distance lingers. Between them. White Mom looks out the window, still in her red veil, holding her hands tightly in her lap. Jimin is calm. EMOTIO and LESS. Whiten without looking at him. You didn't even look at me once, not even when we said our vows. Jimin coolly, it wasn't a wedding, it was an agreement. Don't romanticize it. Double quotes. White unquietly. You really hate me that much. Double quotes. Jimin glances at her briefly. I don't feel anything toward you. That's worse. Scene, Jimin's mansion. Entrance hall. They enter a massive, modern mansion. Silent staff bows as Jimin. Walks ahead. Whiten hesitates at the door, overwhelmed. Whiten in a whisper. So this is where I'm chained for a year. Jimin without turning. Follow the maid. Your room is at the far end. Mine is on the top floor. We don't live as a couple. Don't forget. Whiten frowning. You think I want to live like a couple. Jimin pauses at the stairs, voice sharp but good. Then stay out of my way. Scene, Whiten's room that night. Whiten sits alone on the large bed in a lavish guest room. She takes off her red veil slowly, placing it on her lap. Her phone buzzes. It's a message from her mother, Yama. I'm safe now. Are you okay? Whiten typing back, tears welling in her eyes. Greater than yes. Yama, I'm okay. I single quotes him strong. She locks the phone. Then whispers to herself. White unquietly, I'll serve the sentence, but I won't let him destroy me. Scene, morning, Jimin's mansion, dining room. Sunlight filters through tall glass windows. The room is elegant, silent. Whiten walks in hesitantly. A long dining table stretches before daughter. Jimin sits at the far end, sipping black coffee, scrolling through his tablet. White and softly. Morning, Jimin without looking up. Sit, eat. White sits quietly across the table. A maid serves a perfect breakfast. Avocado toast, poached eggs, herbal tea. White whispers, unsure. You didn't have to prepare anything for me. Double quotes. Jimin still reading. I didn't. My staff handles everything. You're part of the system now. Scene, dining room. A moment later, he finally sets the tablet down, looking at her for the first time today. His eyes are cold, calculating. Jimin flat tone. There are rules. White meets his eyes. Wary rules. Jimin leans forward slightly. Rule 1. You will not speak to the media, not even a whisper. I don't need your sob story becoming public. Double quotes. White and tense. I'm not interested in telling anyone anything. Jimin, rule 2. You will not leave the mansion without my permission. White, unangrily, like I'm your prisoner. Jimin cold smile. Exactly. Double quotes. Jimin continues. Voice lower. Rule 3. You'll accompany me. To public events when I ask. Smile, play the perfect wife. White murmurs, I don't know how to pretend. Double quotes. Jimin sharp, learn. Scene. White unstands abruptly, voice rising slightly. White and bitter, I may be bound by this contract, Park Jimin. But don't expect me to be silent forever. I'm not your puppet. Jimin stares at her, then stands slowly, stepping closer. I don't expect silence. I expect obedience. Double quotes. White meets his cold stare. Then lower your expectations. They stare at each other, eyes locked, tension crackling between them. Like fire and ice. Scene later, Jimin study, door closed. Jimin sits at his desk, flipping through an old photo album, a picture of his mother, smiling brightly, her business sign in the background. His expression softens just slightly, then hardens again as he closes the book. Jimin to himself, you'll pay for what your father did. Whiten, even if it's through you. Scene, morning, Jimin's mansion, dining room, sunlight filters through tall glass windows. The room is elegant, silent. Whiten walks in hesitantly. A long dining table stretches before daughter. Jimin sits at the far end, sipping black coffee, scrolling through his tablet. Whiten softly, morning. Double quotes. Jimin without looking up. Sit, eat. White unsits quietly across the table. A maid serves a perfect breakfast. Avocado toast, poached eggs, herbal tea. White whispers, unsure. You didn't have to prepare anything for me. Double quotes. Jimin still reading. I didn't. My staff handles everything. You're part of the system now. Scene, dining room. A moment later, he finally sets the tablet down, looking at her for the first time today. His eyes are cold, calculating. Jimin flat tone. There are rules. Whiten meets his eyes. Wary, rules. Jimin leans forward slightly. Rule 1. You will not speak to the media, not even a whisper. I don't need your sob story becoming public. Double quotes. White intense. I'm not interested in telling anyone anything. Jimin, rule 2. You will not leave the mansion without my permission. White, unangrily, like I'm your prisoner. Jimin cold smile. Exactly. Double quotes. Jimin continues. Voice lower. Rule 3. You'll accompany me. To public events when I ask. Smile. Play the perfect wife. White murmurs. I don't know how to pretend. Double quotes. Jimin sharp. Learn. Scene. White unstands abruptly, voice rising slightly. White and bitter, I may be bound by this contract, Park Jimin. But don't expect me to be silent forever. I'm not your puppet. Jimin stares at her, then stands slowly, stepping closer. I don't expect silence. I expect obedience. Double quotes. White meets his cold stare. Then lower your expectations. They stare at each other, eyes locked, tension crackling between them, like fire and ice. Scene later, Jimin study, door closed. Jimin sits at his desk, flipping through an old photo album. A picture of his mother, smiling brightly, her business sign in the background. His expression softens just slightly, then hardens again as he closes the book. Jimin to himself, you'll pay for what your father did. Whiten, even if it's through you. Scene. Afternoon, mansion garden courtyard. The sun is warm. Birds chirp. White-un sits on a stone bench, smiling gently. As she speaks with Taehyung, a kind young chef who works in Jimin's mansion, they're laughing softly about a spilled soup accident in the kitchen. Taehyung grinning. I swear I tried to balance the tray, but your lemon tea had other plans. Double quotes. Wife laughs for the first time in days. I thought I was the clumsiest person in this house. Turns out there's competition. They both laugh. The moment feels light, natural, while In's guard is down. Scene. Upstairs balcony. Jimin's POV. Jimin stands behind glass, watching them from above. His jaw tightens. His hand clenches the edge of the railing. Jimin mutters to himself, eyes narrowed. What's so funny? He watches longer, while In smile, her laugh. The way she gently touches Taehyung's arm while talking. Something twists in his chest. Scene. An hour later, while In's room. White-un enters, humming softly after her garden walk. She freezes. Jimin is sitting in her room, legs crossed, eyes sharp. White-un startled. What are you doing here? Jimin coldly, didn't know my wife had time for personal comedy. Shows with the staff. White-un blinks, then frowns. Excuse me, Jimin standing slowly. You were laughing. With him. Like you, forgot you're living under my roof. White-un defensive. I talked to someone. That's not a crime. Double quotes. Jimin voice lowers. Intense. It is if I say so. Double quotes. White-un angered. I'm not your possession. Jimin. Double quotes. Jimin cold smile. Stepping closer. No, but you're my wife. That title. Comes with boundaries. White-un shakes head, then define them clearly. Because I didn't know talking to someone who's kind was now a sin. There's silence. Jimin stares at her, tension growing between them. Jimin softly, but bitter, I saw your smile. White-un quietly, what about it? Jimin, you never smile like that with me. Double quotes. White-un blinks, stand by his unexpected words. Her voice softens. White-un, you've never given me a reason to. Double quotes. His gaze flickers for a second. Vulnerability flashes behind. His cold exterior, but only for a heartbeat. Jimin turns away. Voice sharp again. Don't talk to him again. White-un. Why? Jimin pauses at the door without turning. Because I said so. Double quotes. And then he leaves, shutting the door harder than necessary. White-un to herself, staring at the door. What does it feel like you care when you say don't? Scene. Midnight. Mansion hallway. The mansion is silent. Moonlight pours in through the tall windows. White-un walks quietly toward the kitchen for water. Wearing a soft robe. She freezes as she turns the corner. Jimin stands near the glass wall, a glass of whiskey in hand, staring out. At the dark garden. White-un softly. Can't sleep either. Jimin without turning. Didn't know insomnia was a shared hobby. White-un hesitates, then slowly steps closer. Leaning on the wall beside him. The silence between them is heavy, but no longer hostile. White-un voice quiet. You always look like you're searching for something. Out there. Double quotes. Jimin still looking out. Maybe I am. Double quotes. Why? And is it peace? Or your past? Jimin finally turns to her. Eyes unreadable. You ask too many. Questions for someone who's supposed to stay quiet. White, unsad smile. Maybe I'm tired of pretending I'm not human. Jimin doesn't reply. For a moment, the cold mask on his face weakens. White and whispers, "You said I never smiled with you." Jimin, do you even want me to? Jimin tense. That doesn't matter. Why? And it does. Because if you're going to keep punishing me for a crime my father committed, I need to know if there's even a point to being here. Jimin voice low, almost to himself, "You remind me of everything I lost." White unstartled, softly, "Your mother." Jimin nods slowly. "She was strong, kind. She believed people could change. And your father shattered her belief. Yen. And so you changed her daughter instead." Jimin doesn't respond. His grip on the whiskey glass tightens. White watches him quietly. White and gently, "I'm not asking for your forgiveness. I just want to survive this with dignity." Jimin finally looks at her, expression conflicted. "You weren't supposed to matter." White and heart aching, and yet here we are. A moment passes. Then Jimin suddenly walks past her too quickly, too harshly. White and softly, without turning, "You're not the only one who lost something, Jimin, but I'm still trying to live. Don't you want to?" He pauses at the staircase, breathing uneven. His back still to her, but he says nothing and walks away into the darkness. Scene, evening, a luxury ballroom event in Seoul, flashing cameras. Designer gowns, Seoul's elite gathering under crystal chandeliers. White stands quietly beside Jimin, her arm looped through his. She wears a deep scarlet gown, matching his black suit, with a red pocket square. Why? And under her breath, "You didn't tell me it was this formal." Jimin low, eyes forward, "I didn't think you'd matter that much on. I guess let's White and mocking. Such a loving husband. Jimin smirks without warmth. Try not to trip. You represent my name tonight." They walk into the ballroom. Murmurs spread. All eyes land on the cold CEO with his unfamiliar new bride. Scene, later networking circle, a group of powerful businessmen gather. Jimin engages in quiet conversation. White stands beside him, poised but distant. A stranger steps forward, tall, confident, and smiling at White and stranger smiling kindly. "You must be Mrs. Park. I've heard rumors." But they didn't do you justice. White unpolite, smiling faintly, "And you are." Stranger, "Oh, forgive me. I'm Namjoon, old friend of Jimin's. We studied abroad together. White ungenuinely curious. That must have been interesting. What was he like back then?" Namjoon laughs. Jimin looks up sharply. The edge in his jaw is immediate. Mignon chuckles. "Cold, mysterious, a bit like now, but less dramatic. Why? And lets out a tiny laugh, covering her mouth. It's innocent, light. Jimin cuts in abruptly. "Minjun, don't flatter yourself. You were never that close to me." Minjun raises a brow, surprised by the tone. Mignon playfully, "Still the same, huh?" Jimin tight smile, arm wrapping firmly around White's waist. And White NDOESNT entertains strangers. "Right, sweetheart." White blinks at the sudden grip on her waist. Her smile fades slightly. She nods, confused but composed. White and softly, "Right." Scene, A moment later, near the balcony, Jimin pulls her gently, but firmly away from the crowd, toward a quieter corner white and frowning. You didn't have to be that rude to him Jimin sharp. You think I care about him. He was watching you, too closely, white and genuinely surprised, and why does that matter to you? Jimin low, intense, because you're wearing my name. And you were, smiling like you forgot it? White then stares at him, stunned. Her heartbeat jumps white and softly. So this is who you are in public, not cold. Just controlling Jimin steps closer, his voice barely a whisper. I'm a man who doesn't share what's his white and murmurs. You don't even want me Jimin. Maybe not, but no one else gets to either. The tension simmers. Music swells behind them, but their storm is silent white and whispers. Bitter, you're not jealous of me, you're jealous of your own control slipping Jimin eyes dart. Keep pushing me. Whiten, you'll see how much control I still have. Scene, end of the event. Their car, they sit in silence as the driver pulls away. The air is thick with unspoken words white, unquietly, staring out the window. You can lock me in your mansion, chain me with your name, but you'll never own my soul. Jimin Jimin looks at her, eyes unreadable. We'll see. Scene, next evening, Jimin's mansion, music room, it's raining. Thunder echoes faintly outside. Whiten sits at the grand piano, hands trembling above the keys. She's been trying to stay quiet all day, trying to avoid him. But something inside is breaking white unto herself, voice low. Even this silence hurts more than his words. She presses the keys softly, a lullaby from her childhood. Notes echo in the vast room, haunting and raw. Scene, Jimin study. Upstairs, Jimin hears the sound of the piano from his office. He pauses, pen freezing, mid-signature, the song, it's familiar. Something about it stabs at the memory of his mother humming Jimin murmuring. That song. Scene, music room. A few minutes later, the piano melody falters. White and suddenly slams the lid shut, tears streaming down her face. She clutches her chest and sinks to the floor, sobbing quietly into her arms. She doesn't hear him enter Jimin quietly. Why are you crying? White, unstartled, wipes her face, eyes red. I'm not Jimin steps closer, voice low, you are. Why? I'm voice breaking, because I feel like I'm vanishing inside these walls. I laugh once, you punish me. I speak, you silence me. I exist and it's somehow a threat to you. Jimin tense. Don't twist this. White and interrupting, tearful. I'm tired. Jimin, I'm so tired of being treated like a criminal in a cage for something I didn't do. He goes silent. Her words pierce deeper than he expects. For a moment, he just stares at her, broken, human, fragile. Jimin softly, I told myself I wouldn't care. White and whispers, but you do. Don't you? The question hangs in the air. He kneels slowly in front of her, his hand hesitating in the space between them. Jimin quiet, eyes searching hers. I don't know what I feel. But when I saw you crying just now, something burned. White and whispers, that's called guilt, Jimin. His hand finally touches her cheek. Light, unfamiliar, her breath catches ... Jimin. I don't want to see you cry like this again ... White, unshaky voice, then stop being the reason ... Their eyes lock. The silence between them is no longer cold, it's single quotes as ... confused. Heavy with something unspoken ... Jimin rises to his feet. I'll have dinner brought to your room. Rest. What in watching him walk away? Why do you only soften when I'm broken? He pauses in the doorway, but doesn't turn around ... Jimin voice quiet, because that's the only version of love I was ever taught, and with that, he disappears down the hall. Scene: late night in Jimin's private study. White awakes from a restless sleep. The rain has stopped, replaced by eerie stillness. Something pulls her out of her room, a quiet whisper in the air. She walks barefoot through the hallways, unsure why her feet lead her there, to the study Jimin always keeps locked. Tonight, it's open. White softly to herself. He forgot to close it. She pushes the door slowly. Inside, the room smells of old wood, leather, and faint jasmine, the scent clinging to something sacred. And there, on the desk, under a small lamp, is a photo frame. She walks toward it. Her breath catches. Why Yun whispers. That's her, a woman with gentle eyes, soft smile, black hair tied in a bun. She looks nothing like Jimin's coldness, yet everything like the softness hidden deep within him. Her fingers graze the glass when Jim, and suddenly, don't touch that. Wei Yun jerks, turning. Jimin stands in the doorway, no suit, just a black shirt, sleeves rolled, hair slightly messy. But his eyes, they're guarded. White, unquietly, she's beautiful. She looks kind. Jimin enters slowly. She was too kind for this world. He moves to the desk, picks up the frame, and stares at it silently. Wei Yun, you look like her in the way you protect your silence. Jimin bitter chuckle. She used to say pain should be buried in the chest, not spoken. Wei Yun, she was wrong. He sets the frame down and sits on the edge of the desk, his voice lower than usual. Jimin, she married a monster. She believed he could change. All he did was destroy her spirit. Wei Yun, your father. Jim in Cologne. No. Yours. Wei Yun looks down, guilt crawling, and even though she knows she had nothing to do with it. Wei Yun softly. You think I'm a reminder of her mistake? Jimin nods slowly. At first, yes. Wei Yun voice trembling. And now. He doesn't speak right away. Then Jimin whispers. Now I don't know if you're her mistake, or the last piece of her mercy in my life. The words wrap around her like ice and fire. Her eyes blur again, but she doesn't cry. White, unsoftly. She would have wanted you to be loved. Jimin smiles faintly, but broken. Too late for that. White unsteps closer, quietly. No, Jimin, it's not. He looks up at her, really looks. For once, he doesn't hide behind cold sarcasm. Just a boy with an old scar and too much silence. Jimin, why haven't you run away from me yet? Why unholds his gaze? Because I see the parts of you that still want to be saved. Silence. Then slowly, Jimin reaches for the photo frame again. But this time, he sets it gently in her hands. Jimin softly, she would have liked you. You remind me of how she used to smile. Before he broke her double quotes white unclutches the frame close, eyes shining white and whispers, then I'll carry that smile until you can smile again too. Scene, morning, outside the mansion, front courtyard. White steps outside after breakfast, craving fresh air. The sky is still gray from last night's rain. A security guard walks with her at a distance, as always. Jimin's rules. She's admiring a blooming camellia when she hears it. Greater than Trader's bride. A whisper, a hiss from beyond the gates. White turns slowly. What did you say? A man stands at the edge of the gate. Hoodie pulled over his head, eyes sharp with hate. Stranger growling. You think marrying Park Jimin saves your father's sins? We haven't forgotten. And neither has he. Double quotes. White unfreezes. What are you talking about? Who? Before she can move, the man throws something, a black envelope. Through the bars, it lands near her feet. She jumps back. Security guard rushing forward. Step back, ma'am. White stares at the envelope, heart pounding. Written in red ink, greater than blood never forgets. You will pay in place of him. Scene. Moments later, Jimin's office, the door slams open. Jimin is mid-call when the guard enters. Pale. Guard. Sir, someone approached your wife. Made threats. Jimin rises instantly. Voice razor sharp. Jimin. Where is she? Waiyan, softly, I'm not yours to fight over. Double quotes. He spun to face her. Eyes wild. Jimin, I don't care what you are, you're mine. And if I have to burn. The whole world down to prove it, I will. She stepped back, heart pounding, fear, and something else swirling. Scene. White in's room. White is pacing, trembling. The envelope rests on the table. When Jimin storms in, she looks up, and for the first time, she sees it in his face. Pure, unfiltered rage. Jimin, voice like thunder. Who was he? White, unstartled. I don't know he knew my father. He said. Jimin cuts in. He said what? White and shaking. That I pay for his sins. That he hasn't forgotten Jimin. Who's he? Jimin clenches his jaw so tightly, his temple pulses. He grabs the envelope and reads it. His hands tremble, not in fear, but fury. Jimin low growl. He's back. Waiyan, who, Jimin to himself, I should have finished him when I had the chance. White and quiet, watching him, you know who did this. He looks at her, and it's not the cold CEO she's used to. It's someone else, unhinged, obsessed, possessive beyond words. Him alone, threatening. No one threatens what's mine. Not. While I breathe. White and softly, I'm not just your property. Jimin steps closer, furious. Don't you dare say that. This isn't about control. This is about you. About keeping you alive. He cups her face suddenly, holding it gently, but his voice is shaking. Jimin, voice raw. I don't care if the world burns. I won't lose you. Not after. Not like her. White breath catches, like your mother, his eyes flash. The truth slips. Jimin whispers. They sent a letter to her too. before they set the fire. White unstares, horrified. Her voice is barely a breath. Yan. That's how she died. Jimin nods once, darkly, and now they want to finish the story. Through you. Double quotes. He turns sharply to the guards outside the door. Jimin, double security. I want eyes on every entrance. No one gets near her without my word. White, unsoftly, Jimin turns back to her. If you ever disobey me now. White, I won't get angry. White, then what? Jimin voice low, trembling. I'll lose my mind. Scene, night as security cameras being installed. Whiten watches through the window as Jimin coordinates new guards, barking orders like a madman, but when he turns, his eyes flick to her window. Just for a second, and in that second, she sees it. Fear. Scene, secluded villa, hidden in the mountains. White is sitting by the fire, watching the flames dance. Jimin walks in quietly with a tray of food, nothing extravagant, just soup and bread. She looks up, startled. White and teasing softly. You cooked. Jimin smirking. I heated it. Don't expect miracles. He sets the tray down and sits beside her, not too close, not too far. A silence falls, not cold, not tense, just still. Yan. I'm not used to this version of you. Double quotes. Jimin, you're not scared of me anymore. White ungently, I never was. I was scared for you. Double quotes. He looks at her, really looks. His voice drops, raw and low. Jimin, you were supposed to be a punishment, but instead, you became the only peace I've ever known. White and softly, then why are you still pushing me away? He's quiet. Then, Jimin, because the moment I let myself need you, you become my weakness. White unfirmly, no, I become your strength for the first time. He doesn't argue. He just leans back, closes his eyes, and lets himself breathe beside her. Scene, next morning, the hillside overlooking the valley. They stand together, the wind brushing through the trees. Jimin holds a letter. The thread is gone. The man is dead. The past has finally died with him. White unsoftly. So it's over, Jimin, it is. He hands her a small envelope. She opens it and freezes. White and whispers, these are annulment papers. She looks up, heartbreaking. Why? And you're setting me free. Jimin, I signed it. I thought I should. White unquietly. But he reaches into his coat, pulls out a second envelope. Empty. Jimin, I tore it apart last night. Double quotes. Her breath hitches. Jimin taking a step closer. I don't want you to stay because of fear or pity or duty. Double quotes. White and tearful. Then why should I stay? Jimin softly, because I need you, because you're the only thing that's ever made me feel like I'm worth saving. Double quotes. He takes her hand slowly, gently. No force, no control, just hope. Jimin voice shaking. Stay, White, and not as my revenge, not as my wife, but as my reason to become someone better. White looks at his hand, then at his eyes, and she smiles, a smile that feels like sunrise after years of winter. Yan, then I'll stay, but only on one condition. Double quotes. Jimin blinks. What? Why? And grinning through tears. You learn to cook properly. No more. Reheated soup? Jimin laughs. Actually laughs. The sound boyish and real. Jimin. Deal. Scene. 6 months later, the mansion. The mansion is no longer cold. The walls are painted. Sunlight filters in. Waiyan is in the garden. Jimin walks out, sleeves rolled up, holding 2 mugs. Jimin. I didn't burn the tea this time. Double quotes. Y. And giggling. Progress. He wraps a scarf around her shoulders before sitting beside her. Waiyan, do you still feel chained? Jimin. No, not chained. Anchored. Double quotes. Y. And smiling to me. Jimin softly, to whom they sip their tea as birds sing in the distance. No threats, no shadows, just peace together. She wasn't his weakness. She was the peace he fought all his battles for. Thanks for watching Whimsy Wonders. Like, share, and comment.